All right, IM1 class. Today we're moving on with our systems of equations. We're going to learn a new method on how to solve equations. So we have two methods so far. First, graph the equations, find where those lines intersect, and that is the solution to the system. The second one is called substitution. That's what we worked on last week, where we substitute in one equation into the other, solve, to find an x or y value, then they substitute that again to finish to find the other value. Today, what we're going to be using is called elimination. This is probably the, other than graphing, probably the quickest and easiest way to find the solution of a system of equations, as long as the equations are set up for you in standard form. Standard form, again, is where the x and y are on the same side of the equal sign. So let's look at our first example. All right, solve the system using elimination. So we have our two equations. Both of them are in standard form. It's 7x plus 8y is equal to 4, and then 8x minus 8y is equal to 28. All right, so what you need to remember, or what you need to pay attention to, is if you look over here, there's the 8y and then minus ay. So positive ay, minus ay. For elimination to work, what you need is on one of the variables, on either the x or the y, they need to have the same coefficient. So remember, the coefficient is the number in front of the variable, and one needs to be positive, one needs to be negative. So here, again, we have a positive 8y and a negative 8y. That is good. That's exactly what we were looking for. Same number, one positive, one negative. What we're going to do, first step is we are going to add these equations together. So 7x plus x is 8x. And here's where we want, why we want this to be different here. 8y, positive 8y plus negative 8y, this just cancels out. Plus 8 minus 8 is 0, so you can just cross it out. And then equal 4 plus 28 is 32. Now we have this real easy equation to solve for. So we just finish step one. Step two is solve the resulting equation. So it's just 8x equals 32. So just divide both sides by 8. Sorry, I want that in green. Divide both sides by 8. The 8's cancel out. And you get x is equal to 4. So once you have that, now it's finishing the solving is the same as finishing the solving for in substitution. We need to take this value, substitute it into one of the original equations. So we can either do the top one or the bottom one. I am going to use the top equation, the 7x plus 8y is equal to 4. The reason why I'm doing that is because this is all positive. Positive numbers are easier to work with. You can pick either equation, whatever you want to do, doesn't matter. It's just this x is going to go in for the x there. So it's going to be 7 times x plus 8y is equal to 4, and x is 4. And then I'm going to solve the equation. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 8y is equal to 4. That's an 8, make it look like a 6. Finish solving, I'm going to subtract 28 from both sides. So positive 28 minus 28 cancels out. I have 8y is equal to 4 minus 28 is negative 24. Then you divide both sides by 8. You get y is equal to negative 3. So you get, as an ordered pair, x is 4, y is negative 3. So that's the last step, checking them off, that's solved. All right, let's do another example. All right, Solve the system using elimination. So 3x minus y is equal to 5. Negative 3x plus 2y is equal to 2. So do you see we have on the x this time? So when we add, the x's are going to eliminate. We have a positive 3x and a negative 3x. So add the two equations together. 3x plus negative 3x is 0, so you can just cross it out. Be careful with the negatives here. Negative y. So this negative belongs to y. So negative y plus 2y is positive 1y, or just y, is equal to 5 plus 2 is 7. All right, so I don't have anything to solve for, so that's done. I need to substitute the 7 in one of the equations. I'm going to use the one on the top this time because that one just looks easier to me. Again, it is up to you what you want to do. So what I'm going to do is take the y equals 7. That's going to go in for y here. So the y is 7. So it's 3x minus 7 is equal to 5. And now I solve this. Eliminate the minus 7. I'm going to add 7 to both sides. So you get 3x is equal to 12. And then last step to solving is I'm going to divide by 3. So I get x is equal to 4. So as an ordered pair, x is 4, y is 7. Make sure you're writing them in the correct order. All right. Common mistakes that I see on this. First, when they cross out, a lot of kids will take the y equals 7, they'll substitute the 7 in for the x instead of the y. Pay attention to what variable you solve for so you know, all right, which one to substitute in for. Since this one came out for a y, we put it into the equation for y. Again, it does not matter which equation you put it into, you'll get the same answer as long as your math is correct. All right, let's do one more example. All right, this one with a bunch of negatives. So first step, we're going to add them together. It's also helpful to look at the equations before you add, just so you know what's going to eliminate. So we have negative x minus 4y is equal to negative 8, and then x minus 2y is equal to negative 16. So here we have our negative x, positive x. When we add those together, that's what's going to eliminate. Negative 4y plus 2y is negative 6y. Be careful with those negatives. That is equal to negative 8 plus negative 16 is negative 24. So we add them together, solve for y here. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6. So times negative 6 divided by negative 6 cancels out. And I get y is equal to negative 24 divided by negative 6 is positive 4. So now I need to substitute this back in. You can use the top equation or bottom equation. The one that looks easier to me is the bottom one because the x doesn't have a coefficient on it. So it's going to be x minus 2y is equal to negative 16. Again, it's up to you. Top equation, bottom equation, does not matter which one. As long as your math's correct, it'll come out correct. Since this is a y, I'm going to substitute it into y for the equation. Make sure you're putting it in for the correct variable. So it's x minus 2. I'm going to change the y to parentheses. Put in the 4 in the parentheses. Now I need to solve. So 2 times 4 is 8. So you're going to have x minus 8 is equal to negative 16. Then minus 8, so the opposite of subtracting 8 is adding 8 to both sides. So minus 8 plus 8 cancels out. Then I have x is equal to negative 8. So now when I write it as an ordered pair, x is -8, y is 4. All right, so that'll be it. The assignment, it's on Edulastic. Make sure you get it done. If you have any questions, email me. Other than that, we'll see you guys all next time.